Then for like James and all the rookies and young guys to be able to experience that in practice that quickly.
Well, it's special. It's good because there's just no complacency, because any day we don't bring our game, he'll pick us apart, and it's as simple as that.
You've played against a lot of quarterbacks. How much do you feel like you've learned from Kirk?
So much, because he's so open and so, so busy, got his family, got all of his off-field things, charitable businesses, so passionate about his football and his work ethic, wanting to be the best, but then also the type of guy that'll just sit down, have a conversation with you for 10 minutes about life, family, you can ask many questions, or about football. He'll pick your brain, you can pick his brain, and just getting to learn from him has been really special.
How do you feel like what Brick has been able to install already, and now y'all are kind of getting the muscle memory, putting the pads back on, but what about what he's asking you to do you feel like really hones in on what you do best?
Collectively, I think it's really just, it's so much about the why you're doing it, the energy, the effort, the execution, the heart, right? These words that we keep using. And starting with that makes everything else come so much easier, especially on a day like this where it's humid and it's hot and it's sunny. We got pads on, we got the black jerseys on, so we're cooking out there, right? Like a special day like that, starting with that special. And then individually, I think it goes back to that too, because when you start with that, everything else just comes smoother. Everything else comes easier. The execution does. The running to the ball is easier. Everything's easier. So, starting with the why and the energy, the effort, it allows everybody to be propelled, myself included.
My Diablo beside you, he's a lot taller and longer than I thought he was. When I saw him out there with the pads today, I was like, oh wait, he's a lot different than I originally, when you turn on the film and you're looking at him or watching him. What has stood out to you kind of as y'all have really gotten into it and working alongside each other?
It's really fun playing with him because he's so smart, and then he's so athletic. And so he's out there and he's making plays already, just like for as big and tall and long as he's able to dip and bend so well. For his coverage is great. Obviously, he was a safety. He's a great cover guy. But then he also goes up and strikes an alignment and plays with physicality and force. So just playing alongside him so far has been great, and I can't wait to see how it continues to evolve.
It's really early, but do you notice a different kind of edge on defense so far in camp?
Yeah, it's early. We'll find out.
Kaden,
but I'm excited about what we got. I will say that.
If you could use one word to describe James Pierce Jr., which word would it be?
Edge. Yeah,
not his position, but what he brings to the table.
No, he's got an edge to him. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Yeah, no pun intended. Yeah. He's got an edge to him, and I just love it about it. I love it about him.
How important is it to have guys like that on your team?
It's important. You got to have it. This is football. It's about physicality. It's about dominating the trenches. You see who won the Super Bowl last year and how they did it, and it was in the trenches. And at the end of the day, that's the engine of the team. That's what makes it go. That's how you win the game. Flashy players can get you wins every now and then, but those big, strong, edgy guys in the interior, that's what wins you championships game after game after game. So having those types of guys is awesome.
So when you have him doing what he's doing in practice, do you feel like that permeates throughout the team?
Yeah, I think, it's you look, offense to defense, we're one team. Special teams, we're all one team. This is one unit, this is one team. But right now our opportunity to compete is against each other. And so this is our practice of competing. And right now it's against each other. It's iron sharpening iron. And when you got one guy, one unit, one side of the ball coming off, being edgy, having everything, giving you everything they got, it forces you to raise your game. And then when you raise your game, right, it keeps stacking, going up. So trading punches is great in camp.
It's interesting you bring up.
Whoa! We'll get that out of here.
You bring up, teams that win the Super Bowl, and Zach Bond, someone who you know pretty well. I was looking at kind of the trends of the league, and maybe this is too lofty of a question based on the fact that it's 100 degrees right now and we're all pouring sweat, but just from the time that you entered the league, he entered the league, how has the linebacker position evolved even in a short 5-6 year window?
Yeah,
Again, very lofty question.
No, it is a big question. And when I first got in, there were still some players that maybe a little boxier, really, take on the big old lineman, strike, take on the fullback. Obviously, it's moved to speed. But the linebacker position now, really, in my opinion, when young kids ask me, what do I got to do to be a great linebacker? I'm you got to have great eyes. You got to be disciplined in the run game. You got to know how to take on a lineman. All the things that have been in the past are still true. You have to be able to do those things. But you got to be able to cover and or pass rush. do both, do one, because this is the third down game now. This is a situational game. Like, first and second down is so important. That's what we're talking about, like being able to run the ball, being able to stop the run, winning in the trenches, first and second down, vital. Got to do it. Like, that's what sets teams apart to start. But then always gets that third down. It doesn't seem like every game comes down to 2 minutes. In those 2 minutes, it's throwing the ball, it's being able to cover, it's being able to pass rush, it's being able to win and get off the field or not get off the field. So I think linebackers had to transition to that. You gotta be able to play the run, yeah, but then you gotta be able to cover, you gotta be able to pass rush, and that's one of the things that makes Zach so special. He can do both.
Thank you.
What did you hope to get out of today, and did you get it?
A good practice, and I think we did that. We went hard, we grinded. That's really all you can ask for. You know, you coach up on it, you go hard on the field and coach up in the meeting room, and that's kind of what we do.
There's obviously so many new faces on defense so far this year, but what do you notice about just the early days of camp and that there is kind of a new look?
I think everybody's just hungry. Everybody wants to be good. Everybody wants to be great here. And, that competition feeds off each other. You know, like I said, offense, defense, and we go back and forth. That's a sign of a good football team. And, you feel that, in the locker room on the field, that guys just want to be great.
Curious, do you like when things get chippy?
I mean, it's football, bro. It's a collision sport, we can't do our job and they do their job at the same exact time. It's literally impossible. So, I mean, that stuff's going to happen. But as long as it doesn't carry in the locker room, as long as it's just, good competition, it's all good.
Brooks said on Sunday that he's going to ask you guys to do something totally different than what you guys were doing last year. Would you describe it that way, as kind of being totally different?
There's aspects that are definitely different. And, it takes some getting used to and getting a feel for it. And that's what camp's for. Getting a feel for the defense, getting a feel for the guys we're playing with, getting a feel for Brick and how he calls games and how he's going to call practice, and, just kind of, getting everything ready, for week one.
Is it fair to say that difference is a more kind of aggressive style of play? Any way you can describe it?
Yeah. I would say so.
Intensity, would you say, Zach, is different? And does that come from Brick, would you say?
Every time you come out here, you want to be intense, but Brick definitely brings a standard with him, and he holds us all to a very high standard, and we feel that when we're at practice. We feel that for sure. So I appreciate him for holding us all to a standard that we all got to, meet and exceed.
How does your role evolve individually from, what it was maybe even your first year to your second year to now here you are, like, standing in front of us? Like,
Yeah.
how does that look different, if at all?
Mentally, where I'm at is I'm just trying to, make as many plays to help the team win. Do my part and try to host as many games as possible. And that really hasn't changed from my rookie year. And whether I get more snaps, no matter what happens, that's my goal, and it hasn't changed, and I don't think it will change. My goal is to help this team win as many games as possible.
Do you feel like the system allows you to kind of hone in on something that you really want, and if so, what is that?
Brick likes to let us go make plays. He's never going to overcoach us. We have a scheme that we definitely got to stick to. But if you want to make a play, then he's never going to. And having that trust in the deep coordinator to let you to go, use your superpower and go make plays. It always feels good to have that in the back of your mind. You can just go cut it loose on the field.
Mostly I teach him to get back, settled down once he get rowdy. I try to bring him to the side and help him cool himself down before he get real crazy with it. But he's a good guy, man. He come out and work hard, man. The linemen just don't like it, When a guy work hard, linemen don't like it. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
When did you kind of, I guess, and maybe you're not wired this way, I don't know, but like whether it be at Georgia or even your first couple of years in the league where maybe things get heated and you have to learn where that line is. Can you think back to a time or an example of when you learned that?
I really can't, because I had great veterans when I came in the league. I had guys like Khalil, and I had big dogs when I came in the league. They brought me along well and showed me the ropes early, so I never really got into it like that.
It did look like on Sunday that you ran in right after James Pierce Jr., and you were kind of a part of it too, not taking it to the next level, but you were there to defend your teammate. Why is that important for you?
It's very important. I learned that from Aaron Donald when I was in L.A. You got to ride for your guys on defense. Even if he in the wrong, you still got to ride for him. And I seen a whole lot of white jerseys and his one little black jersey, so I ran over there to defend him pretty much.
What else besides the fact that you like the edge from him and all these things, but what have you noticed about, you said, the work ethic from James Pierce Jr. early on?
He's slowly becoming a pro day by day. He learning the ins and outs of being a professional. You know, showing up for the training room, showing up for rehab, and showing up on time for meetings and stuff like that. He's showing it day by day how to be a professional.
You mentioned having, you know, those great veterans when you were a young player. Now that's kind of your role, right? You're the veteran with some of the young guys. How is that developing, that role?
It's great. I never expected myself to be in this role, but I'm embracing it, and I'm loving it so far. I love my young guys, and we're going to go out and get out of the quarterback.
Jacques was telling us he's kind of like the sensei coach, and you guys are very similar, another coach on the field. What about him do you respect, his process, and very different from usual D-line or linebacker coaches that are just rah-rah and get after it?
About him, he played, he knows it, he knows the ins and outs of the game, so you can pretty much go to him with any type of question and he can answer it. And we always work on the things that we not really good at in individual, then we take it to our reps during team period. He do a good job of having us prepared for practice.
Jock said you had those kind of coach-like qualities. Is that something that was just sort of intrinsic with you, or is that something you had to develop as a pro?
That's just a Southern gentleman in me. My grandma raised me to be that way. You know, if I know something, I'm gonna show the next guy how to do it. So that's pretty much what it is.
What do you enjoy about what they're asking you to do defensively so early in camp?
Everything. Just go out and be me, get out the quarterback, and play hard on the edge.
How much do you believe that there will be a difference in this team when it comes to getting after the quarterback?
It's going to be a big difference because of our hard work and the time we putting in to learn each other. I believe it's like a brotherhood rushing the pass. It's like playing basketball, you know. You got to be a team up front. So that's basically what we're getting used to doing, playing with each other up front.
You played on great defenses. Did you see anything similar from those defenses with this defense that you could say, okay, we can be great?
This one reminds me of my time in Buffalo. We had a lot of guys that can come in and play, and the rotation, we just rotate guys. This reminds me a lot of my Buffalo team when I was on there.
It's interesting, this room, we were talking about it with Raw, like the different body types and the different skills. Like, what is it about, I guess, the conglomerate of guys that y'all have that y'all can rotate out there that could be special?
It's great having different body types and different sizes going after the quarterback. Because you never know what's going to beat the lineman. So we got a lot of clips in the gun. So we're going to go out and shoot. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it is.
There are a lot of guys, a lot of young guys with the rotations, almost kind of like hockey-like, I would say. How do you kind of portray that to the younger guys as far as like how it's going to benefit them from being able to go through those rotations like that?
I tell them you're going to be fresh during the game. You can come in, you're going to be fresh. Should be going 100 miles an hour every time you get in the game. Then you rotate the next guy, he coming in 100 miles an hour. It's good to have a rotation of guys.
And James Pierce Jr., I was asking him about you guys kind of being similar in like body type. Any pointers like you've been able to give to him, be able to see what may work for him with the similar body style?
Our Coach Jock, been doing a good job of showing him different ways he can get there. I've been basically teaching him how to like clean up the end of his rush, finishing his rushes at the top. Other than that, he's been doing solid. He's just been growing every day, and I like it.
What's your early take on Mike Penix?
I was just telling them, man, he's a smooth criminal, man. He's smooth with it, and he'll talk too, man. Don't let him fool you like he's quiet. He talk.
Does he start it?
Yeah, he made that throw. Yeah, he gonna pipe it. He gonna talk. Yeah.
See, that's great information to know because everybody else is like, he's so calm, cool, and collected.
Nah, he talking. He talking for sure.
Your take on what happened with James kind of just asserting himself as a rookie, just like, I'm not going anywhere.
No, I mean, James is a great player. He's disruptive. He's great. I feel like he's going to help us win games. And, obviously when you have, a bunch of passionate players, things like that happen. It's a physical game we're playing football, and, we're going against each other every day. It's hot, it's physical, and sometimes, the temperature goes up. But after that, it stays on the field. We love each other in the locker room and stuff like that. What happens on the field, stay on the field. So I'm not worried about that. We talked it out. Everything is is great, you know, and when we kick off in the bands on September 7th, you know, we're all going to rally behind each other.
How much do you enjoy that fiery intensity
Yeah.
has been shown so early in training camp?
I mean, it's just great. It shows how passionate the guys are and how they take it seriously and how, you know, how they're going about it. I feel like it's an important season. Everybody's excited. You know, we have a lot of regrets of what happened last year, and I feel like everybody just came in with the right mindset. You know, stuff like that going to happen, but I feel like it's getting me better. You know, James doing this thing is making me better, making me a better offensive lineman, and hopefully I'm making him better. You know, we're both making us, you know, each other ready for the season.
What do you notice?
Have more guys that you dislike at this point in the season?
You said what?
I said, does this defense have more guys that you dislike at this point in the season than last year's?
No, I mean,
in terms of out there on the field.
I love the guys. Like I said, like it's part of football. You know, what I mean, I love my teammates. Like it's just like at home with your brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like I love my siblings to death, but sometimes, you know, we argue. You know, it happens. You know what I mean? I love those guys, and obviously we have a talented defensive line, and I think it shows. You know, they've been disruptive all camp, and like I said, we have to step up as an O-line, and yeah.
Does that defense have more edge from your perspective than it did a year ago?
I mean, like I said, I'm not a defensive coach, but those edge players are definitely talented. Jalen, James, and you know, Floyd, all those guys are talented. So they giving us trouble, and hopefully we're making them better as well.
Is Pierce one of those guys where it's like, okay, I'm glad that he's on our side?
Oh, for sure. I'm glad James is on our side. He's, like I said earlier, I think he's going to help us win some games. I remember being a rookie. You know what I mean? Obviously, you don't want to let anybody step on your toes, and I respect that. And I think he's going to be a great player, and he's going to make a lot of plays. So I'm very excited to see what happens in season. Yeah.
Brooks said on Sunday that he kind of enjoys it when that kind of stuff pops up. Just 'cause
Oh,
of
for
the
sure.
competition.
Oh, for sure. Like, it kicks up the intensity a little bit, and then, like I said, it's great. You know, obviously, when we play against the Bucks in the first week, like it's not going to be a friendly game. You know, we're going to be physical. It's going to be chirping, and that's how it is. That's how in division play. You know what I mean? That's how it goes down. So I'm happy it pops up in practice, and we can, you know, get better.
Rook said he's chirping against literally everybody. It doesn't matter what position you play. Are you in the same boat?
Yeah, I love that. You know, I always talked a lot. You know, like I said, I'm a passionate player, and I think it kind of helps me going and kind of motivates me to be better, and that's part of the game. So I'll say I'll do it. You know, as well.
Is this a good time to camp and put on the pads, get a lot of things out you guys have been working on, and be able to be a little bit more physical?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time. Obviously, it's great to put the pads on because, you know, we're working on certain plays that you can't really rep without pads, obviously, because you don't want nobody getting hurt. And it's good to work on those plays and, just get better.
Flo said that Mike has perfected the art of shit talking. You got a good appendix, like trash talking story that's early, that's all right.
To be honest, I don't have one, but I've seen Mike, you know, talk a little bit. I can't tell you what he said exactly because I haven't heard it, but you can see his confidence. But that's what happens when you go from rookie to year two. I saw it in my play as well. You know, your confidence kind of kicks in because you're like, oh, like I've done it. You know what I'm saying? You proved yourself that you've done it, and now it kind of you take the other step, you know, mentally, and you have that confidence. So I'm happy Mike is confident, and hopefully I can give him a lot of time to make some good throws.
What's the most important thing for you to learn about your quarterback so you kind of know where he is behind you and have a feel without having to turn around?
You know, switching from Mike to Kirk obviously was different. They're different players. They have a different style, and you know, playing those last 3 games with Mike kind of showed me what he's able to do, what he likes, and also the comms on pass pro and stuff like that. So it's just good to play with Mike, and
Mike's a playmaker, so he's always got his eyes down the field, but him being mobile allows him to kind of create some things down the field and things like that. So, and then he has great accuracy, great arm strength. So I can say he's just a great playmaker.
When you have a quarterback who's kind of a big play hunter like that, does that excite you guys in the wide receiver room?
Absolutely. We always look for big plays and things like that, and having somebody like Mike at the helm, not saying Kirk couldn't, but having somebody like Mike like that's always looking for plays like that definitely makes it exciting for us as a room. Was
there an adjustment period for you, him being a lefty, like the way the ball tails, the way it kind of comes out of his hand? What was that like going through that?
When he first got here, it was definitely an adjustment, but I think mostly it changed the more reps that we got with each other, and it made it a lot easier. So now we've had so many practices, so many games to throw at each other, so it's definitely easier now.
How did the first pad of their practice go for you, Chris?
It went pretty well. Got a chance to make a couple plays. Got to actually be in live bullets for the first time. Lately we've been in just helmets and shorts, but to kindly put a body on the body, you know what I'm saying, to be able to go through our blocking assignments, being able to incorporate the run game, it made it pretty cool. So it was pretty good. A lot to learn.
That one-handed grab over there, take us through that over on the highlights.
Just a little choice route that I had. Mike had asked me, did I know what I have? And I kind of figured when he asked me that, he was coming to me. So gave me a chance to make a play and just came down with it.
What things you want to do right now to make the most of this time right now? You think you get some looking like you're down?
Right. I think for me right now is just really honing in on all of the details of the playbook, knowing where I'm supposed to align and what I'm supposed to do, knowing all my assignments and things like that. Just being where I'm supposed to be and just taking advantage of each opportunity that I get. So that's my main focus right now.
I guess the competitive factor of your room. Great competition.
Absolutely, it's a great competition. We push each other every day. We go and we watch the film. We find things that we can get better at, and then once we get on the field, it's everybody's pushing everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because we all want to see each other win. So it makes it easier for us to go out there and practice and compete with the rest of the guys because we got our whole room pushing for each other. So.
What have you noticed about the defense through this first stretch of practice?
They're flying around. Coach Ogers brings a great system, and that's the main thing that they're teaching. Flying around, they're going at the ball, so we've had to be extra cautious with our ball security and things like that, because they're looking for turnovers. They're trying to create turnovers. So I like it because it helps us, and if they practice like that in the games, it's going to be a lot easier. So just I feel like they're doing great right now.
The other guy on that side of the ball is kind of your way. Plays kind of like Brooks. And watching them out there really fighting to make some plays.
Yeah, so Brooks, man, that's my boy because we grew up together. I've been knowing him since my 10th grade year in high school because he's like 20 minutes from down the street from my hometown. So, but that's my guy. And I feel like Mississippi, we come with that dog mentality. So to see him out there getting his opportunities and things like that, it's exciting for me and it pushes me, you know what I'm saying, because we're competitors. And I see him make a play, I'm automatically wanting to go make a play. But it's definitely exciting to see him go out there and make plays.
What's it like going up against DeMarco Helms?
Oh, Marco, yeah, he's a hitter, man. He's coming down, so like I got to make sure my chin strap is buckled every time. But he's a great player. Obviously, come from a great system, but he's coming off the injury. But he's always been a great player, and especially now he's getting his feet wet again, just being able to move around in his defense and things like that. So he's a great guy, for sure.
What's the biggest difference you've noticed between Michael Penix going into year one versus year two?
I feel like he knows the system a lot better. Obviously, coming in as a quarterback, it can be challenging. You come from a spread offense to now you having to learn a whole pro style and different things like that, the West Coast offense. But being able to come in and be confident in what he does, he knows the plays well. He's calling them out. He knows where everybody's supposed to line and assign. So you can see that. He's very confident, and you can see he's confident pre-snap and post-snap is just him playing ball. That's him.
From last year to this year, what are some things you want to show in training camp that you've improved on?
Obviously my route running, but for me it's been my physicality. I spent a lot of time in the weight room just trying to bulk up a little bit, but I know in this league to be able to touch the field, you got to be able to block as well as catch the ball. So just being able to be that guy to go in and be able to do the dirty work. So and once it's my time to get open and catch passes, I'll be able to do that.
Chris, going back to your comment with Marco and you saying, hey, I know when I'm up against him, I got to buckle the chin strap.
Yeah.
Those little nuances against certain types of players, do you stow those away in your back pocket and kind of pull them out during the season and say, hey, I'm going up against a heavy hitter at safety. Got to remember what Marco taught me.
Absolutely. Like going against a guy like Marco every day, it prepares me for the game. And sometimes you might not go against those type of safeties, you know what I'm saying, that wants to come down and hit, but I'm prepared either way, you know what I'm saying. So, and for me, I like to, like I said, I've worked on my physicality, so I like to bring that physicality, whether I'm playing somebody who's that physical or not. So I just try to, be prepared at all times, and he helps me with that.
Do you like that challenge? Like, go bring it.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. Because it's only gonna make me better. It's gonna make both of us better, actually. So each day it's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to learn. So, for sure.
You're getting kind of a former teammate back in DJ Chark, though. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, awesome. Number one, great person. That's first and foremost. He's going to be just great for the room, I think. Good to be around. He's a great teammate. One of those guys like willing to do the dirty work, which in this offense is a huge part of it. You know, you got to be able to stick your nose in there and do some of that. And then I just think with his speed and length, like he can provide some things down the field. And so yeah, excited to have him.
And what did the Falcons kind of communicate to you when they said, "Hey, we want to bring you in here. Here's kind of what we envision your role in this team being"? Kind of what did they see in you that identified that?
You know, I think just opportunity to compete and see what happens. You know, obviously they feel really good about Mike and excited about him. He's having a great camp. He had a great spring. It's been cool to be around him and get to know him. And then learning from Kirk, I mean, shoot, man, the amount of experience that he has just for that room is so beneficial. You can learn so much just being around it. So I'm here to compete, have fun, and whatever my role ends up being, that's what it is. But I'm here to help this team win games, and I'm excited about what Raheem and Zach, you know, on the offense are doing.
Terry Fontenot told us that DJ came for a workout on your recommendation. Can you tell that story?
That might be a little exaggerated.
Okay.
But no, I played with DJ obviously a year ago. Like I said, great teammate, great person, talented obviously. And then we spent a lot of time together this offseason. We live in the same area, so threw a lot of footballs to him. He was great. Came out, ran whenever I needed it. So yeah, it just kind of worked that way. I think they were curious about him already, and then it came up in conversation, and next thing you know, he's here. So.
I'm interested because he told us that he was considering retiring this offseason.
Yeah.
Were you kind of aware of that, and how did he end up here after having done that?
Yeah, I was, and I was a little bit surprised by it, just because I think he's got a lot of good football left in him. But I know how much his family means to him, and that's a part of it, obviously. And so I think for him, it was, you know, he described it a little bit as therapy this offseason, going out there with not a ton of expectations and working hard and running routes and all that stuff, but, you know, kind of leaving it out of his own hands. So, like I said, I'm excited to be around him. He's a great teammate. I think he's going to help us.
What makes him such a great teammate?
Willing to do all of it. Like I said, throw his head in there and block and do some of those things. He's not worried about, you know, how many footballs he's catching and all that stuff. He's fun to be around in the locker room. He's a great family guy, and so I just think a veteran player, he's had a ton of production in this league. You know, for guys just to be around him, I think is really good.
Yeah,
Easton, what's the familiarity with what you're doing from a system standpoint? I know you've been in one. Is there a lot of carryover here from the verbiage?
There isn't. You know, shoot, I was with the Chargers for 6 years. We had 5 coordinators in 6 years, so
you can adapt to anything.
So at some point, it just kind of is what it is, you know. Me and Kirk were actually talking about it the other day. He's had a somewhat similar experience with a ton of turnover in his career. So a lot of it is really new for me. The verbiage, even conceptually, just the spacing of things is different. But obviously, it's a great system. Like, they've had a ton of success, and so that was attractive to me to be a part of it.
What's the biggest difficulty in doing as much as you've done with changing systems or verbiage? How do you flush stuff out of your mind?
Yeah.
Get the new stuff in?
Yeah, it's a fine line, because sometimes it can help you learn it. You know, like, okay, this is old this. And so there can be some association there. But typically there's some detail stuff that changes, right? And then sometimes it can be tough because you're associating incorrectly. So I think the biggest thing is asking a lot of questions and just like making sure you understand, like, what are we trying to do with this concept? You know, I might have ran that concept before, but the intent may be different here. And there's some stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing. The hardest part is being able to spit it out and truly like visualize it in the huddle. It comes out of your mouth so you can own it and know exactly what's going on. That's the hard part. You just don't get if you're not in it consecutively, it's hard to get the reps to feel.
Are we laying at home saying plays while you're laying in bed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Recording it in the phone, playing it back. You know, some of the receivers like hearing it too on their own, so you can. It's a good tool that way. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah, rehearsing.
Exactly.
What have been your early impressions of the rookies on the D-line?
Really talented. Yeah, a couple of them that are really, really talented. Obviously, the first round picks, and you don't get picked in that round without reason. But work really hard. You could see that right away, even in OTAs, that they're about football, about the right things. And I think that's really important because this year is so long as a rookie, and obviously we hope they can contribute big time for us.
What makes Zach Robinson unique amongst the offensive coordinators that you've worked with?
The system is new to me, and obviously it's a really good system coming from that tree. You can see it all over the league now. But I think his ability to build off of that, to develop wrinkles, it's like, okay, here are the staples, and then off of the staples, we can get to this and this. And then just being able to utilize the personnel. I think that's what's really neat is there's cool personnel here, and being able to move guys around and make people adaptable. I think that's one of his gifts.
Well, last year I think I just found a role on special teams, just kept working, compete. Got an opportunity to go out there on special team, made some plays. Ended up getting activated towards the end of the year for the rest of the season. Got some opportunities on defense to play nickel. Kind of carry that over to the offseason, just training, knowing that I'm in a better position. Nothing promised, but going into a better position this year. Just wanted to work on, everything, my whole game. Special teams, working on special teams in the offseason, still working on my same DB drill, and just taking care of the body. Trying to put on a little more weight, get a little heavier. So I was kind of light last year. I'm still light, but I try to put on like 5-6 pounds. So
it's showing it a little bit.
Yeah, it's showing a little bit.
Raheem was saying today that there was a little bit of a concerted effort to add some more edge to this team, especially on the defense side of the ball. Have you felt that at all so far?
Most definitely. Like the guys up front, like our D-line, go crazy. Like that's something they coaches speak on. They always say like we haven't had a pass rush here, and I feel like this year the guys we got up front gonna get the job done. So that helped the back end a lot.
Go ahead. First practice and pass today. How do you describe the intensity and how things maybe ramp up when you guys put the pass on?
I think the intensity when you put pass on, everybody kind of got that mindset. A lot of guys, kind of see red, so you already know like everybody amped up, kind of come out there ready to make contact. But at the same time, you want to work smart, get work done, limit the fights. But I feel like when we put pads on, everybody knows it's go time. And it's just one of the moments to be fun, be competitive. And like your first day, you always got to find a way through. Like it's hot. Yeah. I was tired like Indy. I'm like, shoot. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those days where like we getting pads just fun, just ready to go.
Saw you out there defending against Pitts a couple of times out there the day. Thoughts about going up against him and being ready for him?
I mean, Kyle is just, all our guys is a good, real competitive. And they are a good target. And, Kyle, they always make you work because you don't really treat him like a regular receiver. I mean, like a tight end, you really treat him like a receiver. So you kind of got more respect for him when you come out there. Which at corner, you got respect for everybody. But, like just covering a tight end sometimes, you be like, okay, this is a play out. With him, it's not a play out. You always feel like, okay, the ball is coming to him. So.
Thoughts about number 19 and the special bond you guys share.
Chris Blair. Yeah, that's my dog. And so I'm from Starkville. He's from Louisville, Mississippi, which is like 15 minutes away from each other. We grew up together. We kind of always worked together, out season and stuff like that. So that's like my brother. Everybody coming from different same area, you kind of always just automatically have that bond. Kaden Hodge, he from Mississippi, so it's always like just natural connection. Just somebody being from your hometown, where you from.
All right, tell me about the way you come downhill, because there's only a couple corners that are going to come downhill like you do to go hit people. Have you had conversations with Jerry or anything like that? I'm sure they'd like to keep you on the field, but you got that mentality that I'm going to blow everybody up in my area.
Yeah, like I always tell the guys in my room, I kind of feel like it's just coming from where I come from. Like all my cousins 5-6 years older than me, so when we outside playing football, they wasn't taking it easy on me, so I used to get up, cry, and just go right back at them. So kind of translated when I got older, or just like my mindset of like, I don't care how big you is, how fast, like I'm coming full speed and I'm gonna get all I got every time, just because I grew up.
Yeah, I think you lead the league in wows from me as far as coming up and hitting people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Seems like that mentality probably jives well with Jeff Ulbrich. What has he brought to this defense since he's been here?
I mean, Jeff, man, he just a guy. His mindset. His mindset is, what I'm saying, it's go. It's just go. You know what I'm saying. So he love those type of guys who, whatever you do, he know he played football. So he know everything is not going to be perfect. So the only thing he wants you to do is run fast, get to the ball, and once you get there, make a play. And so I love that about him, his mindset, because that's my game. You're not going to be perfect at DB, but I'm always going to give 110%, like all our guys do. So that's just one of the things that I love about it, because I'm an effort guy. I'm going to give you 100%.
Last year, y'all ran a good amount of zone, am I correct in saying that? And it seems as though Brick's kind of history has been favoring some of the man coverage concepts. Right. Have you felt any shift in that so far, or is it still kind of pretty basic installs at this point? Yeah,
it's been a shift, you know what I'm saying? But it's still kind of, you get the best of both worlds. We kind of match it this year and things like that, but it's nothing really different. Kind of all the defense in the league gonna kind of hit on the same thing. But so with this defense, I feel like it played to a lot of our strengths, guys' strengths in our room, and just on the team, period. And we love it. We love it.
The coaches were talking about Leonard Floyd being like another coach on the field. What has he brought to the defense?
I mean, he's just one of those guys. He's a vet. You know what I'm saying? You can't experience, you can't beat it. You know what I'm saying? So whenever he say something, whenever he speaks, he get the whole room attention because 10 years plus. You know, so it's just one of those guys, like, when he speak, you listen.
Yeah, I know it's really early, but is there a specific moment that he's spoken something and the whole room has kind of turned?
Not really, because he's really not a big speaker. You know, he's real soft-spoken. He don't say much, but when he do say stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, all the guys just get his naturally curve his attention. You grab everybody's attention. So,
what are your early impressions of Billy?
man, Billy, he one of those guys, like, he kind of remind myself of me, but, you know, he's a better athlete than me. You know what I'm saying? He run faster than me, he bigger than me, but, like, for him, he's twitchy, he's fast, he's competitive, and one thing I love about him, he always play calm. Like, you ever see him on the field, he's never in a panic. He play calm, and he's gonna be a great player in this league.
What about Drake?
Man, I love Drake, and I love him just because, like, he one of those guys, like, he don't never get the big head. He don't never think he's better than nobody. He always come out there, and every play is let's go to work. And he made me better. You know what I'm saying? Which everybody on the team made me better, but I love going against fire because I know he's coming to work. You know what I'm saying? He's just one of them guys, like, just make you better. He want to get better every day, and I want to get better every day, so I just love going against him.
We were talking to Rott earlier today, and he made the comment that the reason you go out and you get someone like James Pierce Jr. is to add a little bit of edge to the team. When you think about what James has been just the last couple of weeks and bringing that energy, that passion, what kind of stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, you always looking for guys that, you know, has a good sense of controlled violence and edgy, especially when you're talking about a defense. Defenses are supposed to be known as, you know, ferocious, violent, all the strong words that you can use. So when you can add a little bit of edge in the right way, obviously we're always looking for guys like that. And, you know, he's been proving it.
How do you keep kind of the balance from, you know, like you want to see that passion, you want to see that violence, but also keeping it within a framework of practice itself?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of where I was already been alluded to. You don't want it to where is you want it more controlled to where you're not losing reps and wasting time. We've got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time to get ready to do it, so you want to do it in a controlled way so we still can get our work done, but also know, you know, playing with the right intensity, playing with the right things. You know, for a young guy coming in, you're still trying to prove yourself, so you got to prove it to the veterans. So there is a thin line between it, but obviously, you know, you do it the right way and you get the most out of it.
He was kind of at the center of a couple of those skirmishes on Sunday. What's the conversation like with you and him after that?
Yeah, nothing. Just lock back in and get ready for the next play, because guess what? I'm not taking you out. You got to learn how to play through this type of stuff. You got to learn how to prove yourself, and I think he's been doing a really good job of that. Hey, it's a little dust up here. Let's get to the next play. You see him making a play or doing the things right assignment-wise. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? It's going to be tough. There's going to be adversity in football, but can you get to the next play and do what you're supposed to do your job, do your assignment? And he's been doing a good job of that.
Aside from the competitiveness and edge factor of James, what else do you like about him so far in training camp?
Yeah, I mean, I think he came in ready, in shape, ready to go. Obviously, you see the natural things that drew us to pick him with the rush ability, his ability to be physical, violent in the run game. We've been seeing everything that we want to see from him. It's just how quickly can he continue to adapt to the speed of the game, how quickly can he make sure he's doing his assignment right so we don't have a ton of mental errors, those type of things. But as far as everything we've been asking of him, he's been doing a good job.
What did you see out of the first padded practice? Or did you get what you were looking for?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first day. Obviously, guys are juiced up. I'm kind of more of a sensei type coach. Let me make sure as you're, you know, getting juiced up to be ultra violent, ultra aggressive, which is what this game calls for, but there's still a play call. There's still an assignment that you need to do. Can you make sure you're still doing your assignment the right way? And I thought I saw a good job of that today.
How much do you worry, if at all, about Jalen Walker as a rookie missing a couple of days?
Yeah, obviously we would love for him to get the reps. So as far as anything of that, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to say when he goes or doesn't. I'm going to defer that to somebody else, but obviously you know he needs the reps.
How would you contrast like your room last year compared to now? Because there's a lot of new faces.
Yeah, it's a lot of new faces. Obviously a lot of different personalities in the room, a lot of different talent in the room. It's just managing it, figuring out what buttons to push with each guy, what spots can I pick to put this guy in a position to do what he do really well, to excel. And this is the time to do that, obviously, with training camp as you're preparing to get ready for week one and preseason and things of that nature. Continue to accumulate the data and knowledge that I need in order to help these guys be really productive.
With the ones going against the twos, and you have Kirk Cousins as your quarterback for the second team. How beneficial is that for the team?
Oh, man, that's excellent. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better guy. I don't consider him a backup. Obviously, he's been a starter for a long time. He's played some really good football for a very long time. And so just continue to go against that guy, the cerebral approach that he takes towards the game. Obviously, for a young guy who's in there to go against that guy to see the pocket presence in the field and the way he goes about it, obviously that's invaluable.
Because of his versatility, how often, if at all, do you work with Kaden Elliss?
Yeah, I mean, we work with Kaden a lot, especially with the different things that we want to do on defense and the way we use him and the versatility that he has. Obviously, I get a chance to work with him. We're talking, seeing different things and any kind of nugget that I can give him that, Coach Rude and those guys do a really good job. But if he comes over and asks me, we definitely talk a lot for sure.
What skill sets does he have that you like to tap into?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I always say he's batting 100 when we can get him knocked out and lined up on the running back and being able to pressure the quarterback. But Kaden is a really, really smart football player, man. He understands as far as pass rush angles, when to use his hands and those different type of things and the way that we can set it up, showing pressure and not showing pressure. He does an excellent job in being able to do that. So, man, he has a ton of skill, and obviously he's a big-time player for us for sure.
How can Kareem? He's a guy who's kind of flown under the radar, but is clearly getting some important reps here at camp.
Yeah, I mean, Lid has seen, I call him Lid, by the way. Lid, he's seen a lot of football. He's been in the league for a long time, been a lot of different places. And to me, that's invaluable, man, to get a guy in a room like that with these younger guys who are still trying to learn and figure out the way. Lid's been a great leader. He talks, and he's able to share all the knowledge that he's able to explain. And so, obviously, he's doing a really good job on the field as well right now in training camp. But, obviously, as we continue to go on, you just want to see him to continue to do that and improve it.
You mentioned versatility with a guy like Leonard. What are you getting from him and the veteran leadership, and how is he kind of fitting in with his new role here?
Yeah, obviously, kind of the same thing, but you've got a guy who's a little bit older than everybody. And the thing that I love about Flo, man, he's the perfect guy for the room because not only does he talk about it, man, he comes out on the practice field and he shows these guys how to work. He's always working. He's always talking about it. And so, to me, that's like an added extra coach for me in the locker room. He's saying consistent messaging that I might be talking about in the meeting, but Flo has been perfect, man. He's great. He works hard. Still got a ton of juice, man. So it's excellent been having him here for sure.
As more of a sensei coach, as you said, how do you balance coaching players like Leonard Floyd and James Pierce Jr. who have that extra edge? Do you two balance each other out?
Yeah, it's a great balance. Obviously, I would say Flo kind of leans a little bit into me as my chill and calm demeanor, and Flo kind of has that, so that's why I kind of call him my second coach, because he is a little bit of a resemblance of me and how I kind of go about my business. But Flo is real cerebral about it. Obviously, he's seen a ton of football, and being a Georgia guy, he kind of tells us where to go eat at too as well. So it's been excellent in that way. So.
Braylon Trice getting the chance to finally put the pads back on. I guess how has he been reintegrating himself back into the room and getting back to 100%?
Yeah, I think the thing for him, he's obviously ready to go. He's looked awesome. He's worked really hard to get back. I still kind of got the chain on him a little bit because I don't want to just fully let him out the leash, because I told him the ultimate goal, obviously, is for him to get through this training camp healthy so we can hit the ground running. But obviously, man, you see him flashing. He's doing really great things out there as we continue to pull the leash off of him. And he's been doing a really good job so far.
What needs to happen to get you out of sensei mode? Like where the guys feel the wrath, like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, if you hear me yelling and screaming, then something is really, really wrong. I think sometimes we get a sense of what is the practice field really made for. And I think practice is made for guys to go out there and try new things, be able to make these mistakes. But I don't want them to feel like they're not comfortable enough to make the mistakes, because we're trying to play an imperfect game out here. And so obviously, if I see you making the same mistakes, that may feel the wrath a little bit. But other than that, man, I just want these guys to feel really comfortable with me and being able to talk to me as a coach like another set of eyes, like I was right out there playing with them, to be quite frank honest. So.
And on your journey, was there a sensei, because you just don't think of that, you think of football just rah-rah, just kind of guys getting freaking after it, but was there a mentor or coach that you kind of looked up to, had the same kind of vibe and philosophies, and you did kind of, all right, when I get to that point, I'm going to be this dude?
I would say some of my mentors who are D-line coach have been the complete opposite of me. Joe Cullen is one of my favorite coaches that I ever have. I still talk to him to this day, and he's down in Kansas City. But he is literally the complete opposite of me. But that doesn't mean it's just all about really pressing the right buttons with each player. I think as a coach, you've got to figure out what that player's makeup is, what is he going to respond to, what is he not going to respond to. And so obviously once you gain that data and information, then you kind of know what buttons to be able to press in order to get a guy going. But I think the guys in the room have done a really good job of feeding off each other and also feeding off me, which has been enabling them to look pretty good so far.
With Floyd, when did you recognize that he had those coach-like abilities and traits?
Yeah, I think obviously with him coming in, man, just the stuff in the film room, in the classroom that he's able to point out and see. Sometimes we're trying to go fast, we're trying to make sure we're getting through meetings and all that, and just the way he's able to stop everybody or talk to or pull a guy to the side and show him what he's talking about. I think those are, good traits, leadership traits, because he's not a loud guy. He's more cool, calm, and collective. But just being able to pull a guy to the side one-on-one and be able to tell him something or constructive criticism, I think he's been doing a really good job of that.